fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Nick Hunter. Hello, Nick. Welcome to the stream. Real quick, let's talk about what we got on our live stream training schedule. So, today we are finishing up Nick's mini-series with the FileMaker auto-enter calculations versus lookups, which will be fun. Tomorrow we'll be having a stream with Hansa. Friday will be another 20 free FileMaker MBS functions to change your development, part 2. Those will both be really interesting and entertaining streams. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will be Nick's last mini-series before we hit basically Christmas. We're going to be taking like a week off and some change for Christmas, I believe. So FileMaker coding standard and calculation syntax with Nick, which will be interesting. If you'd like to support the channel, we would greatly appreciate it. We have our FM Training annual subscription bundles. Basically, there are 3 options here. This one comes with FileMaker. This one has all of our video training, but no FileMaker. This one has, like, I would say most of our video training. So, every once in a while, I'll have people call me up and go like, man, I really don't like your stream format. It's an hour long, and you interrupt with questions, and the conversation can occasionally meander. So this is for people who have that issue, basically. These are very small, bite-sized, easily understood, very animated chunks of FileMaker knowledge about pretty much everything under the sun. Become an intermediate developer in your own right. We talk about server, WebDirect, Go, all of basic FileMaker Pro, all that jazz that gets talked about here. I almost said Pro Advanced. Pro Advanced hasn't been a thing for ages. So feel free to pick this up. And if you have bought it to support the channel, thank you very much. Seriously, it's greatly appreciated. It helps keep the channel running. So I think with that being said, I think we're good. Nick, what are we doing today? How are we finishing up
Hello.
the series?
Yeah, hello everybody. Hello. Thank you for joining today. So the third day, the last day on the auto entry calculation. So I couldn't talk about everything. You know, it's I know I could have stayed like a month on this, but I talk about the most important things, right? So and especially how to use this trigger technique. Okay. So yesterday we explained more in detail how to use that trigger technique, right? And so you understood that now you can use stop using things that makes things slow, like summary fields and I mean, when I say stop using, let me rephrase this. Use less of those, right? And practically never use uninstall calculations or calculation whatsoever, because with the trigger technique, you have complete control on what you do, right? So the thing here is to understand well how the auto entry calculation works. So let me do a recap. So I want to explain this. Okay. So I want to explain this, do a kind of a recap on this file option like dialog. Here, so in this dialog, you have multiple things happening on different states. Okay, so you have creation, modification, editing, and committing of records. So creation of record, modification of records, editing of records, and uncommitting records. So you have multiple states. Okay. Here you can see I can have a creation date, for example, if I want, or creation name, you know, or account name. And I can have on top of it, I can have a calculated value. This is possible, right? So, but here, if I select creation here, right, and I select modification, it's unselecting the creation, you know, is one of the 3, but this I can still click it, right? This can exist. I cannot have a cell number and a modification. So if I click on modification, this is unselected. If I click on creation, this is unselected. You know, it cannot be on creation and modification at the same time, right? It cannot with this. Same for this. The value from the last visited records, unselect this, right? So those are, they unselect themselves, right? and all of those, they unselect themselves. But the calculated value can be selected with one of those as well. So the situation in this is this. I can have automatically an account name coming, right? And have a calculated value on top of it. That can be something like, a modification. When you modify, if you have a calc here and you modify, I don't know the name, or you modify something here, then you have this calc that is going to be applied on top of this. This happens when you modify. This will happen when you modify and edit, right? So to explain all of this, I need to have another session to explain this, but I want to show you this, that this, you can have multiple options here, selected or none, right? But here they unselect themselves, but this one, you can select it with one of those. Of course, if you say looked up, right? If you say looked up, the calculation value is unselected. You can have one of those. Is either or. Is or. It's not either or, right? This, you can have one of those. So the screen is this. You can have one of those selected, right? One of those. And you can have one of those together. Okay? It's possible. One of those, okay? So now, yesterday, we don't have any question from yesterday, right? We don't have any remaining questions or...
Nope, not as far as I'm aware. So you are free to go as you want.
Okay. Yesterday, I showed you something with this replace technique here, okay? So that means when, to update the manager, remember I have a manager here, the name of the manager, and I want to update all the inventory with the manager name, right? So let's see if I have on commit here. Yeah, okay. So if I change the name here and I say Christian, don't know if I... Okay, so if I commit, then I have this update record stuff. It did a job, right? You replace Christian here, but it was kind of slow. We don't want that to happen on each commit, right? We don't want to happen that on each commit. We don't, okay? So how we can avoid this to happen, and still keeping the same technique. Yeah. Yesterday, I talked to you about the trigger technique is a great technique because we are going to tell the server to process and evaluate the calculation. So let me explain. Here, when you do something like this, so if I put back March here, when I do something like this, and I do this, right? So I execute the script, all the calc. So in that field here, so here from this table here, the script is going to say to replace records in that table. That's what it's doing. Okay. So you here and you say, okay, replace this, all of those records in all of this field for all of those records, you replace with the current timestamp. Doing this, then you have all the auto entry calculation here. That works. That they've been recalculated, all the auto entry calculation here. So this one, so this auto entry calculation is going to be triggered. Okay, because I'm modifying that, right? So if I let's disengage this. So if I change here and put Nick, okay, and I change this here, you will see this record here change. Boom. The script here, what is doing is say, okay, replace those related records, replace this field is doing this, right? Is doing this, a replace, right? And that takes time. When you do this, all the auto entry calculation that is attached to this trigger are being evaluated by the clients. And that's why it's slow. Is because we evaluate those records on the clients. So you have a back and forth transactional things, opening records, closing records, evaluating data. So all of this happened on local. It happened on this, what's the name? Client. Okay. So that's why it's slow. Now, I want that to happen on server. When you do this, if you ask the server, go to that table, look for this guy, all the record of this guy, replace this, all the auto entry calculation that we have attached to that trigger will be performed on server, no longer on clients. And that is like 1,000 times faster because it's like performed on a local file, right? It's the server has the file, so it's on the hard drive, the memory, everything is on the server. The server is going to do the evaluation of the auto entry calculation. No more their clients. But that implies that you need to know things. You need to know what happened. And I'm going to explain to you what happened. Let's say I want to replace that script, that I want to do the same thing. I want to do that replace. I want to do that technique, but I don't want that to happen on clients. So I have this, and then I'm going to create a new script, right? And this is the PSOS. It's a perform script on server, and it's update manager. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. So this is no longer this. It's no longer a replace. This is a set variable first, right? So I'm picking the first name and contact because that might how I'm going to retrieve the file over there, right? The first and the last name, right? So I'm picking this, right? Those two. Right? Remember on the variable last week, I told you, so I'm putting everything on the table, right? You remember that on the variable. So if you don't know, go, if you watch this video, go to the webinar. We talk about the variable. Maybe you can send the link, Marge, of the webinar last week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to send those two to the server. So I need another variable that I call parameters, param, right? And this is what is the list of the first name and the last name, right? So I'm going to send the two together. So I'm bringing this, and then I'm making, I could have done the directly contact first name and contact last name here, but I want to demonstrate how we do that correctly. This is the correct way to do that. You do a variable, another one, and then a third one when you combine all together, right? And then I'm going to perform script on server, and I'm going to perform this PSOS and I'm going to send as a parameter, I'm going to send the two names here, the first and the last. I'm sending that. I'm sending this variable there, right? So you can see now it's easier to read, you know, because I could have done this. I could have done this. Of course I will. I could. But look how it, you know, let's say we don't have this, right? Look how it looks. It looks bad. It looks complicated, right? This we don't know. I don't care about what I said here, right? But I can see what this, I can see everything it is. And when you debug, you can see the content of this, you can see the content of this, and then you can see the content of all. And then you can say, okay, yes, is all of these right? What I sent to the script is right. If you don't do this, here you have no way to know what that is if you want to do a debug. If you debug, you have no way to see what that is. Here, I will know what that is. I will see it and I will show you. Okay. So this is what I'm doing on commit. I'm grabbing this and then I'm performing on server. And here, that's the real script. So when I land on server, so that will land on server. That script will be executed on server. So I'm copying this, right? And I'm pasting this. But the first is, I don't have my, yeah, I don't have it. Okay. So it's the first value of the get script parameter. That's the first value, right? And that's the second value. So I have the first and a second value because I'm sending two values here. If I debug this, this is how it looks. Parameter looks like this. So you see, if I debug, I see this, and I see both of them, but I don't know why. What happened here? First and last name, first name. But I don't understand. First, last. What? Oh, parameter, sorry. First, last, and parameter, I see the both together. So this is what I'm sending. One value, second value. Okay? One value, second value. So what I'm sending to the script is this, right? Is this. So the script here is going to grab from the script parameter the first value, and here's the second value. And now I say that I want to retrieve the records for that user, for that person. Okay. So I perform a find. That happened on server. Sorry, I'm going now that I have this. Sorry. Now that I have this, you need to know something about the script on server. When you open the script on server, right, it will land on whatever default layout you have when you open the file. So, for example, in my case, the default layout is contact. So if you do this on server, it will be like file, open. It will be the same. Open the file, and then the file opens, right, on the default layout you have, defined by your starter script or defined whatever you want. But in my case, if I do this, I land here. But this is not where I want to land. This is not where I want to do the find. I want to do the find here in that table, which is the inventory table. So I said to the server, yeah, okay, go to layout inventory. Okay. Then, oops. Then perform find, right? In inventory, first name is whatever in the first variable, and last name is whatever in the last variable, right? So I'm in inventory, I'm searching the first name with this and the last name with this. Okay, I'm finding those records. Now, here, a good practice. So take notes. I'm going to do a perform find. In that script, what can fail? What can fail? This cannot fail. Yeah, at the most, this will be empty or whatever, but it cannot fail. This won't fail. This won't fail. This could. For example, if I have nothing, let's say I have this guy here. This guy, Scott, doesn't have any inventory. So if I'm going there, this will fail, right? I don't want that to fail. So I said this. If get found count, right? So that means if I have something, if this returns something, and only if this returns something, that means, yeah, I found something. Okay. You do this. The replace on the trigger in inventory, and you replace with the get timestamp. Correct? So my script what do? The trigger that will be attached, that is attached to that layout, say, okay, grab the first name, the last name, put that together, perform script on server, this one with the parameters. The script is get the name and the first and the last name, go to layout inventory, perform a find based on those two. If there's something, do the replace. Otherwise, bye. You understand? Bye. Nothing happened. Okay. This prevents, if you have in inventory, if you have 1 million records, that prevents the fact that if this fail or whatever, right, it could replace like the 2 million records for no reason. That prevents it, right? So now we're ready, right, to do. So I'm putting here this so you can see this, right? You will see this change and this change, right? So if I do this, I'm going there, and I say Jacob. Okay, so I change this. So this is what happened. I'm performing this, so look well what happened here. This here and this here. Okay. Collecting the first and the last, right? This the Nick Hunter. Okay. And now I'm performing the script on server. Nothing will happen. I won't see anything happening here. The debugger will go away, but now you will see the result here, right? Boom. And you didn't do it. Okay. Why? Always, go to inventory, replace, restore, first name, last name, and replace inventory this with get Claris timestamp. Okay. And why it didn't do? Oh, yeah. Okay. So.
What's the problem?
I know the problem.
Oh,
if I redo it now manually, it works. Okay. So why? And I should have. I mean, the problem is I improvised a little bit this because the inventory stuff, this is what it wasn't what I wanted to do as the original, but it's okay. But it's good. It's good. It's good. I'm going to explain why. Okay. I'm going to explain why it's doing this. It's doing this, okay, because I am on commits, right? So when I perform this, okay, so okay, first let's do something like this. Okay. Let's do something like this to make sure that everybody understands. If I run this, if I say Nick again, and I do update, yeah, I didn't commit. Hold on. I am. Let's. Don't know what it's doing. Okay. Okay, I explain. If I do Nick, let's say I put Paul, okay? I commit the record, and then I update. That work. Okay? If I put Nick, I commit the record. So now, this record here, the record number 1, has Nick as manager, and I can update. Okay? Why? It's because I commit the record. That means I saved the fact that the manager is Nick. And then after I save it, then the scripts happen on server. And he said, yeah, okay, you committed, you saved Nick. So I know that is Nick. But if I do that on commit, first you need to know when the on-commit happened. The on-commit happened when an attempt is made to commit record change in this layout. That means this happened before I saved the record. It happened when I want to commit, it performs the scripts and then save the data. That's how it works. So if I made a change here and I say on commit, the record here is not saved. It's not saved. It do the thing, but it wasn't saved. Now it is saved. So if I do it again, it works. Because the on-commit trigger, the scripts happen before I save this, right? So do we have any questions? Are people understood the problem here?
Yes, we have 2 questions.
Okay, go.
So one thing I've always wondered is why you do is a list function on PSOS. If the first value is blank, it moves the second value to the first and breaks everything. Why not just use JSON?
Yeah, you can use JSON if you want, Yeah, I understand. No, I perfectly understand. This is a demo, okay? So yeah, and I'm using list all the time and I don't break my stuff, because normally I use IDs and stuff that I'm sure that there's always something there. If I'm not sure that something there, right? Then I, in that case, there's many things to solve that. But I understand your point. You can use JSON if you want, but I'm not. I'm not. This is a demo. It's just a demo. Okay. I'm not using this. And at one point, we are going to do like a webinar how to send parameters in a new way, right, to the server. We'll have a webinar on 1 week on this. But yeah, you can use JSON if you want. It's a little bit complicated for that. This is a demo. I don't do that normally. I just want to make things simple, right? So yeah, I will have a full webinar on the script parameter coming soon. When this is planned in the agenda, the script parameters.
The script parameters one?
Yeah, sometime next
I
year.
don't know if I have that on my list actually. So
I mean, I sent it to you, but you don't have plan. It's not in the agenda.
I'll have to look and see if I missed it somewhere because I don't see it in my list. So I'll go check.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I understand, but this is not the webinar for that things. I'm using lists all the time because it's simpler, much simpler than the JSON. JSON is, you have a lot of things to do. You have to name something, and okay, here you don't have. But it's okay. So let's move on. So the next question you said you have two.
Yes. Do you need to add a commit in the script?
It doesn't matter. It won't work neither. You can add 10 commits if you want. And it will reperform, it will reperform and reperform and reperform always the same, It doesn't matter. It won't work. Even if I say commit here, okay? Even if I say commit here, yeah, I have another file on the other side that is. Even if I say commit here, it won't solve the situation. It will make it worse. Because I will have 2 times the commit happening. So I said this, and then it will do it again. I commit, right? And then it worked. But yeah, let me see. Yeah, it works. In that case, it works. Yeah, you can do that. You can put a commit in the onCommit. Yeah, you can do that. In that case, you can do that. You put a commit on commit. Yeah, in that case, but is not going to work on all cases. And that's the problem. So that's one way to solve this. Okay, because you commit, so it's committed, and then you perform. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it works. It works, but you have another way that works on all the cases. Okay, so this is one way. Yeah, I don't use that technique here because it's sluggish a little bit because you have 2 commits. The commit when you clicked, and the commit in the records, and it could have some complication, right? But that's one way. Okay, the other way is to say, okay, here you put a pause a little bit, like 1 second, right? You put a 1 second pause, right here. So why is a 1 second pause? You say, right, that when you commit the record, right? You commit the record, and then the server will wait until the record is committed, because it needs much less than 1 second to commit a record. It will commit the record and then execute the script. So, I'm going to explain that later. So let's see how it works now. Okay. So without the 2 commits. Okay. So I'm going to put like John, right? And the thing happened without the 2 commits, So I put Nick back. See, it frees, you're free. You see what I mean? It frees you. You're free. If I put Rick here, boom, it's free. I can do I got something else, and then the server do the thing. So look what I'm doing here. I'm putting Paul, I commit, and I'm free, and the server updates, right? Do it again. See here, look at here. So I commit, I'm free, I can do whatever I want, and the script is doing that on the background, right? The script on server is doing the updates, right? So now you know, so you learn a little bit, you learn a lot of things in one session, but it's okay. You learn that on commit, when you have an on commit, can be on commit, can be on, on object save, for example, because I put that on commit, but I could have put that also on object save, right? So that's the same thing. That's the same thing, right? And but here I think I need a commit, but it's okay. On object save, so I could have say on object save, on object validate. Sorry, object save. Yeah, object save. Yeah, this one. On object save, do this, right? So on object save, update manager, because I want the scripts to be there. So I'm going to remove the on commits. And now the update manager is localized if I modify this, right? So if I do Paul, so yeah, but I need to commit the thing. That's the problem. So yeah, I need to commit. It's the problem is I'm sorry guys. I messed up my demo. I wasn't ready to do that, but it's okay. I need to commit that record because otherwise he won't be able to do that, you know. So it's because I don't remember who put me the inventory, but it's not your fault. It's my fault. I should have prepared that better. But it's okay. It's okay. You know.
No,
so
it happens. So
yeah, it's happened. Yeah. So if I do Paul, right, and then boom, right. So you put a commit here. In the on object save. So that means when I modify this, right? When I modify this, if I said Nick, even if I don't click outside, you know, I do a tab, for example, I'll go to the next field, right? You see this will change, right? Without feeling anything. You won't feel anything, you know, you change, boom. And you do on background, you don't see, you don't feel it. You see the thing changing, right? So I do it again, Paul, tab, and it changed afterwards, right? But here I don't need in that case, I don't need that anymore. That's for the on commit only. On object save, I do the commits, so it's committed. But here on commit, I don't do the commit because the action is already initiated by the click or the carriage return or whatever you have to committing a record. And then the script here has to wait until the commit is performed, right? So now it will be even faster because I don't have the 1 second, wait time, right? So it, Paul is instant, right? So this trigger technique here, so this was only to replace that records, all those records remotely, right, on the table, on another table, and replacing those, you update all the auto entry calculation you have. The advantage here to perform that on server is that you don't feel it here. You don't have any spinning wheel or whatever waiting time. It don't slow you down, right? The server is doing its job, right? And you'll get the information, no problem. You get everything updated, right? So now, when you have a script like this on commit, for example, so I have I have the on object save update manager. And here I have an on commit contact. Okay. So on the commit contact, let's say, right, on the commit contact, let's say I want to make sure each time I'm committing that I have all my auto entry calculation updated, for example. Okay. So remember, I have two fields. So I'm setting this one, and I'm setting this one because I have two to update. I have two, this one. Remember, because I want to separate the process in case you have a huge process. In case you have big things happening, you can separate it, those two, in two triggers. So let's say I want the two to be triggered, right? On commits. When I commit the record, I'm doing a change. I want to make sure that my total are updated. For example, I'm here and I'm changing this, right? I'm putting like 50 here, right? So I want this to be updated when I want this here to be updated when, right? When I commit the record. When I commit this, I change this. When I commit, I want this to be updated. So I click here and that will be updated. Normally, it's done. This, yeah, because because I need to wait. Okay, so forget about this. Rewind. I shouldn't have go there. Okay, sorry for that. And I shouldn't have go there because it's the most complicated. It's the most complicated situation. This when you have something like this. But anyway, when you want to make sure your auto entries are updated all time, when you commit and you want to update your auto entry calculation, I'm going to explain why it doesn't work here because it's for the same reason. For the same reason, but I screw up my demo. It's okay. Sometimes happen. Did you guys understand, or do we need to redo this section? Because the problem is this inventory stuff. I didn't want to go there, but I mean, but it's not I didn't want. I didn't anticipate this. I had a completely different demo, but it's okay. Did you guys understand, or do we need to come back there later?
Larry says all good. David says rewind. We do have a question. So
yeah, go.
Does it lock the record, or is the record unlocked before commit?
No, until you commit, the record is locked until you commit, right? So I mean, if you click here and you do the commit, the record will be locked until it's completely committed. Is unlocked when the commit is processed. So so to explain what happened when you commit when you do a non-commit like this. So let's copy this back and put it here. Update manager. Let's forget this demo. It's so when you do this, right, the record will be locked until there, right? When this is processed, the record is locked, right? Because it's not committed. When this happens, the record is not committed. So the record is locked. Yes. Because the record is not committed. The record is committed when this is over. When this is over, the record is committed. And then it's unlocked. But at that point here, the record here is locked because I open it. So, other questions?
All good stuff. This really helps me fully understand all the options with AutoCalc and all that's possible. Thank you so much. So.
Okay. So pretty much. So if we don't have any other question, I don't. I think we're going to reshoot this last day because I messed up this. Okay, I don't want to go. If you want, I can fix this. If you want, if you want, I can show you how to fix this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time you have, but I don't really have to have any meetings.
I have enough time. I have 10 minutes. 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, and if you need to go over for a bit, I don't mind sitting here. So.
Okay. So normally when we do this, okay, when we do this, because I'm updating a record that is here, okay, but the total is here. So this is a trigger for this, right? It's here, but the record is here, right? Okay, so we need to do the same technique I do here on commit here. This is update manager, and I have the same to update this, right? I have another pieces to update the total. So I'm collecting the first name, last name, the same. I'm going on server. I'm going to contact. I search for on contact. I'm search for the first name and the last name on contact. Okay. So this pieces go to inventory, search for the record and replace them. Replace the trigger. Here, it does exactly the same thing. But I'm going to contact. I search for that contact, right? And if I found something, I do a set field. I do those two set fields here that I had before. I deleted them. It's okay. So set field this. So the server will do it. The server is doing it, not the clients. So you have any advantage of this technique because you free the commit from anything. The commit is free, totally free. So when I do the commit, right? When I do the commit on here, when I do this, right? This is unsafe. But if I do the commit contact, okay? So that means I commit the record on contact. I do this. I do the pieces update total, right? So the update total is on commit. The update manager is on object save, okay? So here, the on commit, I perform this script. I get the first name, last name. I go to contact. So I go to that layout. I perform find, and I trigger, I set the triggers to update those records here, to update this, right? And with the same technique of waiting, because remember, I want to commit the record and then update the total. So now, if I do this, if I put 200 here, then it doesn't work. Okay, this demo is... Why? Oh, I didn't put the script. Stupid me. Somebody is calling me. No. Okay. We'll come back. So on record commit, I do this, right? So I forgot to put the trigger on the script on the trigger, so it couldn't work. So if I put this, if I put 200 here, and boom, we change. Boom. See? So if I put 3,000 here, boom. And you have no spinning, nothing. Why? Is because the commit script doesn't do anything. The commit script do nothing. The commit script get the values and then send something on server. Server do it. The server say, okay, no problem. I'm going to retrieve the record where you are, wait until the commit happen, go to the contact layout, look for that record, right? And then I'm updating the triggers on server. So pretty much that means with this technique, you invented the calculation on server, something that doesn't exist. You know, it's like doing like a calc, but that performance server. That means it's 1,000 times faster. That's why it doesn't. I don't have any spinning wheel. I don't have anything. I can change this one. I can change this one. I can change this one. I can change this one, right? And when I commit, boom, it will happen. Boom, it's there, right? So yeah, it's a very good technique because all your commits, right? If you use that technique on committing records that do things, or even changing this, you know, if you even when you do a on object save, you use that technique, boom, right? So it changed on server. I didn't see, I see the thing coming here, but I didn't see any spinning wheel, nothing. Nothing happened, you know. Look, I do a tab, I can do a tab, I can do a tab, I can do a tab, you know. It doesn't, I don't have any spinning wheel, I don't have any problems because everything happened on server. It didn't happen here, right? So of course, when you have a lot of things like this, right? When you have a lot of perform script on server, because you use that a lot, because you need to make sure that your script are straightforward, right? Straightforward. That means don't put crazy things here, right? Don't put crazy things. Just the script that happened on server, right? Just update, the minimum. This is update inventory total. Boom, nothing more, right? So this is a very good technique because also that script can be triggered from anywhere. Demonstration. I still have some time. If I'm here, for example, all what I'm showing here is demonstration. Nothing is for real world, it's to demonstrate the technique here. But let's say I want from here, from inventory, update something here using the scripts, the on-server scripts, right? Look this. So I have on commit contacts, but now I have on commit inventory. Right? So now I want to commit on inventory. When I commit here, I want this to be updated using the script on server. Remember, a script on server, you need a script, right? And within that script, you perform. So here, I'm selecting the first name, last name from the contact table. Here, I'm going to select the first name, last name from the inventory table. I don't change the name. You see now why this is cool, because I can do that. I change from the contact to inventory. And that's it. That's it. That script, I select first name, last name from inventory, but that script will go to contact, perform find for that record, and execute demonstration.
There we go.
This one. I'm here. The 300, right, is there. Okay. I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to see it, right? So you see this and this. Updated. Without any problem. With the same script. It's the same script that update from here. Update. And the same scripts that update from here. It's the same script. Why? It's because I just say, okay, from here or from here, depending. When it's from contact, I select the first name from contact and the last name from contact. When it's from commit, I'm selecting the first name from inventory, and when it's on inventory, the first name on inventory and the last name on inventory. But this script here is the same. I'm performing the same script, piece of update inventory total. Why? Because, okay, whatever name, I don't care where the name comes from. I wait for the commit, and then I go to contact, perform find, right? And then update. Finally, it wasn't that bad demo today. I had some, but I needed to explain everything. In that case, now you understand. You understand the benefits of this. So you can do many things with this. Okay. So it's a very powerful technique. This pesos and waiting, right? Because you let the wait. You don't want to charge. You don't want to have a true commit here. This is bad. This is bad technique. I never use that. No, you do the natural behavior. You do the minimum. Ding, ding, ding. Perform. Boom. Bye. It's done. And then the server said, okay, no problem. No problem. I get your stuff. I'm waiting for you. Don't worry. I'm waiting. Don't worry. Take your time. Take your time waiting for you. Then, okay, you're done? Okay, cool. I go to contact. I look for your contact, and I'm setting the two variable, the two triggers. Yes. And it works. Right? Boom. On the background. And you didn't see anything. You didn't see a spinning wheel. You didn't see anything. The service is taking care of it. And this, knowing that, of course, if you use the technique of this one to update like I do for updating the manager like this, and you have millions of records here, of course, it will take some time to do it, but the server will do it, right? The server will do it. But when you do update contact, you look for one record, you look for one record, and then you set fields like I do here. This is peanuts for the server. It doesn't see it. It doesn't see it. Right. Right. So if we don't have any question, I think I made the demo complete.
It's kind of like a general question, which I'll ask. Hi, what type of FileMaker script would you consider in your experience in the most complicated projects? I think that they're asking what's the most complicated FileMaker script, which is an interesting question.
I have many. I can show you. You want to? Do you have time, Marge, or do you want to go?
I've got time, so.
Okay. I am, for privacy purposes, I'm freezing my screen, so don't worry. I typically don't. I have one complicated. I'm going to show you, but it's not my fault. It's complicated because it was a script. It was an existing script with a lot of complexity that the guy before did what he could. He did a good job, by the way, but he wanted to have this script to run on server. So it was a local script that was taking a lot of time. Each time he was creating a record, you had to wait like 1 minute, right? So hold on, it's almost done. No, it's almost there. And I'm going to show you the record. It's because when I'm doing Zoom, everything is so freaking
Complicated.
No, it's slow. And I have another file because I want to show you something, but I don't know if I will have time for that. But you know why I have a great demo why I'm using timestamp. Before we go, maybe we stay. I will show you a script, but it's the login is slow. I don't know why. What happened with my connection? Yeah, we can wait. It's okay. Almost there.
Yep.
Almost there. So you need to a script that is that one of the most complicated script I have because I didn't build it. So this is my most complicated script. So I have 261 lines. Like I repeat myself, I didn't build this. Okay. To handle this script, I needed to pretty much use the most advanced technique to create error handling to get the errors. I use the most evolved technique, and that's something I'm going to demonstrate in the future. It's on your list, Marge. I'll just check it. The path script parameters and the creation of errors. So you have a bunch of variables here that happens. That happened on server, right? Then we gather many variables and we set field based on things, and it's okay. So there's many things that were there that the guy, the owner of the file built it himself, and I tweaked it to make it perform on server. Before, all of this wasn't happening on server. So each time he was using that script, he had to wait like 5 or 10 minutes before the thing come. Now it's like maybe 2 seconds, right? So all of this happened on server, all of this. Even the creation of, save a PDF, insert the PDF, it's, so before it was this new setup script was, I don't know where is the old one. It was named new setup. It was there, but yeah, here, this one. So this was a script he has, right? So it was like even more. It was 336 line. I'm 261 because I removed a lot of complexity as I was, and he was showing show dialogue, right? So it was like dialogue, or all the time. Look how show dialogue we have here. Show dialogue. So all of this gone. All of this gone. Because it happened on server. So you cannot have a show dialogue on server. Doesn't show that on server, show dialogue doesn't work. It's this doesn't work. So do we have another question?
Just people asking if there's going to be update record modifier works anywhere? ?
We keep it as is because I finished my demonstration here. So I show you the most complex, the most difficult part of the triggers, right? To understand on the commit. I didn't want to do the on commit, but I screwed myself. So I shook myself in the foot. So
it happens.
So do we have any question again?
Nope, I think we're good other than people asking for the sample file. So
yeah, you will get it. Now, why a trigger? So why it's a modification timestamp? It's a timestamp. Why I'm using that as a last modification? Why I'm doing that as a trigger, not a 1 or 0 or whatever? Why? Because first of all, I told you yesterday, when you do something like this on server, you have no way to know if that happened or not. You don't know because it's on server, so you cannot debug on server, right? So you have no way. So when you change, so if I do a change here, this will change, right? So if I change, if I do a change here, right? If I do a change here, this here will change the time. Boom, 1547, 1537. It changed the time. So I know, okay, it just did it. I know, it worked. I see the time changing. I say, okay. But if I see like this, like I said yesterday, like from yesterday, nothing happened. Nothing happened since yesterday. I commit the record. So nothing happened, right? So you can see it. That's the first thing. Or if it's blanked, for example, it's blanked. That means, and you expect to have an update here, and it's blank. That means your script somewhere screwed up, right? But also, it gives me this opportunity. If I go there, for example, I'm taking I'm selecting that timestamp, because I have 2 million records. And right now, I have a script running. Right now, I have a script running on that file, right? And I update those on the 2 million records. So that will take like 8 hours. Okay. So, and how I know that? How I know it will take 8 hours? I can anticipate it. How? I'm selecting that timestamp and I'm looking for that timestamp. I'm searching the record of that timestamp. At that day at 4:04:07 p.m., the server executed, replaced 43 records in 1 second. At that second, it made 43 records. Other demonstration. I'm going to another one. This is 4:20. Okay. So I'm looking for that timestamp. He made 41 records. So I'm doing another one. At that second, in 1 second, it made 41. I'm going to another one, and no, it didn't reach that. No, I'm doing this one, 3:45. So I'm looking for that record, 44 record. So we can assume it was 41, 43, 44. We can assume that the server, with the load on the, on the auto entry, right? With the auto entry attached to that modification, the server is performing 40 records per second. That is the time it needs to finish those 2 million records. So 40 record per second by, whatever hours you have, second you have in an hour, and it's 8 hours, pretty much. You understand? So that's why I'm using this. It's because why he's doing this, because he's doing it. He's doing right now. He's performing right now, right? So I know I go to the first he did. So for example, here, the first, he started at 3:19 p.m. The time of New York, right? Now it's 5:20 in New York. So the time in New York, I start at 3:19. I start this, right? So I can, selecting this, that second, for that day, that hour, that second, it did 43 records. So, and I do that like, and I'm going to the next ones a little bit, and I'm doing the same. Anyway, so copy this. Here's where, oh yeah, but this was another script. This was yesterday. I modified the script. I did it better. I have a better script now. Oh, anyway, so you understand the benefit of this. I can anticipate when you have a huge load. You can anticipate how long it will take to do that. So you say, okay, I have 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Okay, I can leave it alone. Like I'm doing right now. So okay, let's start it, and I'm doing my webinar, and later I'm going to come back and see how it looks. Right? So this is a good technique because it tells you how long it will take to compute all those calculations. You imagine if I had unstored calculation on 2 million records, no. So that's cool, right?
Yes, that is cool. So.
Okay. So I'm done. If you don't have questions, I'm done.
Nope, we're good. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Nick. Sorry, everyone, about the not being aware of that Nick wasn't sharing his screen. We will see you.
Yeah, so sorry for that.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye, Nick. We will see you
Bye-bye.
Monday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Got a report of an individual up here who may be a FileMaker license. Well, it's potentially expired. Look at the back of that car right there. Looks like the FileMaker license has expired. Sir, I need you to step out of the vehicle. Sir, step out of the vehicle. Sir.